honestly, if how much more can these prices go up? It's pretty crazy because that card, the Bubble Mew, was like $90 2 or 3 years ago, and it was going for like $300 in a PSA 10, and now it's almost $4,000, and it's $1,000 card raw. And the packs to pull it were like $3 a pack, and now those packs are like 24, $25. You know, you might as well just buy the card at this point. And the packs, I honestly do think they're gonna keep going up because it's just rare. It's rarer than the card. But if you're a fan, man, you shouldn't be ripping packs. That's literally lighting money on fire. Like, it's... But at the end of the day, man, just hold, sell, do whatever you like. And in case nobody noticed, I brought out the meta glasses and the books so people can realize I am not educated. But let me say this: Meta is making their own empire. They don't need Micron, they don't want to be dependent on Micron. They don't want to be dependent on any software company. They want to make their own profits from this. And man, that is so bullish. I think Meta will be the best stock in 2027. I'm on record saying that. But let's talk about more fun things. Collectibles, Pokemon, if Magic, DBZ, Lorcana, these other TCGs, Godzilla, there's a Godzilla TCG. If these sets had more attention than Pokemon, bro, you guys would realize that those other TCGs have $10,000 cards, $5,000 cards. Bro, $4,000 is nothing. Honestly speaking, right now is probably one of the worst times to buy. The best times to buy with times when nobody really knew what was going up, what was going down. I think right now the best thing to do is save your money. Invest in a skill for yourself. Get a certification. Go try to increase your income. Get as much free capital. Or just say YOLO and keep investing if you have the time, have the stomach for it. Because at the end of the day, it's all about having cash on hand. That is with today's age, we're more of a consumer people, Americans. I realized that when I bought the Meta glasses, I'm like, I spent $500 on glasses, and I realized I could have bought the stock with what I paid. And what's funny is, around that time, I said, sell Micron and all these 500, 1,000% gains from those companies because the price is already priced in. And you got to buy these stocks that have been down 20-30%, like Microsoft, Meta, Google. And I'm not saying Micron's dead or anything. It's just that they're not gonna be as profitable as people think. And Lord and behold, 2 weeks later, I was right. People are gonna blame politicians for the way the economy is, but at the end of the day, you see so many people gambling on Kalshi, saying if tomorrow's gonna rain or not. And look, Democrats and Republicans have their own agendas. I think the best thing someone can do is focus on themselves and forget about politics, because at the end of the day, it's the same thing. If you can't afford things when you have Republican, you won't be able to afford things when there's a Democrat. Reason being is Democrats make things cheaper, but they won't fix supply, but Republicans will give you supply. Now, Republicans also, I'm gonna say this, Republicans would rather tax the middle class than the rich. Democrats would rather tax the rich than the middle class. I honestly think the middle class shouldn't be taxed as much because we make up the majority of the US. I'm one of those people that I just don't understand how people can spend thousands of dollars on vacations. Sure, it's fun, whatever, but that's just not me. I just gotta say that, and also the gambling. Also, the gambling is terrible. Some people would rather do options than just putting the money in the stock market, whatever. And honestly, it's the same thing. What, maybe you make $1,000 more, $500 more? Who the fuck cares? It's really the same thing. Look, man, like, it's really there's a big difference between just putting money in the S&P and gambling your money, saying, oh, if tomorrow's gonna rain or not, if Donald Trump's gonna say the F word on the next live interview. Bro, like, young generations. And let me say this, with the vendors that we have nowadays, people think that that this vending culture is normal. Bro, this is not normal. You have to realize people are winning as a vendor because people sell to them at 85%, 80%, 75%. And that same vendor puts it up for 100%, 110%, and tells them, hey man, if you buy it on eBay, you're gonna pay a little bit more than what I'm selling it for. So you might as well buy it here. And look, I'm not against vendors, I'm not against people, but I'm gonna put this as an example. Pikachu Gold Star was selling for $15,000 last year. Now it's selling for $350,000. That's unbelievable. Do you know how hard it is to lose 15% of $350,000 if you sell it on eBay or on Fanatics? You lose 10%, 11%. Do you know how much of a hit that is? Bro, and then if you sell it in person, it is a non-taxable event. You can act like it never happened. And you get basically, let's say, $340,000. Let's say you give them a $10,000 discount because you're such a great guy. And look, the market is the market, but this is not the time to think that things are gonna keep going up. Things will probably just keep being the same. I think right now is just the time to keep saving. Just save, save, save.